Also have Melissa Weiss, the executive editor of Jewish Insider, who's joining us. Melissa, thank you for your time. Now tell me something, what is it that you can add to what we know? How volatile is the situation right now? What is the latest?
Sure. I mean, it's an ongoing, unfolding situation. And so literally as we are speaking, there are attacks that are taking place in and around Iran. So I would expect to see more of this throughout the night. It's unclear how long this is going to go on. It could go on for several days. It will go on until Israel has decided that Iran's nuclear program, Iran's military program is no longer an immediate threat.
Okay, Melissa, when you say this, there are more reports coming in, and I want you to confirm this or add to this information. There are reports of explosions near an Iranian nuclear site. Do we have any such confirmation?
Well, unfortunately, I can't give you that confirmation. That would have to come either from the Israeli Air Force or the Prime Minister's office or from inside Iran, and we just don't have those yet. So what we see now are a lot of posts going around the internet saying that different areas, different sites have been struck. We will know in the coming hours and in the coming days what the extent of the damage is. But like I said, this is an ongoing operation. What we don't know far exceeds what we do know.
Yes, and Melissa, we all do know that not just tensions are palpable, but there is a clear escalation that you have seen. There has been a response. There's been an attack and a counter-attack, and clearly this does not augur well when you look at what really is right now at stake.
Yeah, I mean, what is at stake is, I think, the future of the region, and the future of the region now is going to look very different than it would have, say, 24 hours ago. It was very clear that this was done on the 61st day of since the Iran-US talks began. President Donald Trump had said very clearly that they had 60 days to reach a deal, and there are people who will disagree with President Trump. There are people who will agree with President Trump, but he stuck to his word, and Israel struck on day 61. So now, I mean, the real question is, where do nuclear talks go from here, right? We know that talks are still expected to take place on Sunday in Oman. The Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, will be traveling there this weekend. It's unclear who he will be negotiating with, but talks are scheduled to take place. And the hope is that Israel's actions over the last 24 hours will push Iran to accepting a deal that ideally addresses enrichment issues, which had been a gap that the US and Iran had not been able to connect on before.
Yes, and as we are having this conversation, Melissa, we are also trying to connect with more people, to help us understand what is the latest. But I think there is this important information coming in from the Tehran Times, and allow me to quote, they say reports of a bombing at the Shafan reactor. We just had an image, and in fact a full graphic to help our viewers also understand which really are the targets that possibly right now under the radar. There is also the role of the US that you just spoke about, and Tehran anyways has said that the US will be responsible.
Yeah, I mean, Tehran has said a lot of things. Ultimately, the US this operation went forward with the US being fully aware that it was about to unfold. President Donald Trump has said that. I mean, for years, Iran has called the US the big Satan and Israel the little Satan. So the rhetoric has really not changed. But I think what we saw earlier today, when Iran fired about 100 drones toward Israel, none of which caused any damage, none of which even broached Israeli airspace, none of which had much of an effect. I think at this point, it's a lot of talk and not a lot of action.